Hello and welcome everybody to this special Veterans Day episode of the Phoenix Police 5-0 show. I am your host, PIO Sgt. Brian Bauer, and I'm here with three other veterans. With this being a Veterans Day special, I wanted to invite the three of you guys to come join us and kind of speak about your experience, not just in the military, but that transition from military to police, and sometimes like Sergeant Tran here, that transition from police back to military just to come back. So with that being said, I want to introduce everybody. We have Detective Armenta, Detective Smith, and Sergeant Tran. Detective Armenta, if you can just kind of tell everybody, when did you join the military and what are you doing currently for the Phoenix Police Department?
I started my Marine Corps career in 1999 while I was still attending Arizona State University, studying to get my bachelor's degree and entered the Officer Cadet Program, where I attended Officer Candidate School in the summer of 1999, completed there and continued my training in 2000. I served 2 tours into Iraq in 2003 and 2004 and came home in 2005 and started my career with the Phoenix Police Department in 2005. It's been about a total of 19 years. My career path here was investigative in nature. So after my time in patrol and on the net squad, I moved to the Violent Crimes Bureau where I began investigating robberies. After 7 years there, I spent 2 years in the Community Relations Bureau and then back to investigations where I've been as a homicide detective for the last 6 years, and that is my current assignment now.
Now, you're a little bit different than the other three of us because we're all enlisted. You went the officer route. Any regrets in that at all?
No, not at all. My inspiration to serve in the Marine Corps and to become an officer was from my brother, who was an enlisted Marine who finished his career as a sergeant. And so my exposure and introduction to the Marine Corps was through him, and he inspired me to finish my degree, and I started as an officer as a result of that. So I don't have any regrets. Even the times when you wish you were back home, the goods and the bads have all helped to build the person who I am today, and I'm a good police officer as a result of it, I think.
And since the three of you were all in the Marine Corps, I was the only kind of oddball out. I know the Marine Corps has 2 major basic training portions, right? One in the West Coast, one in the East Coast. Is that the same with Officer Cadet School?
No, the Officer Candidate School is in Quantico, Virginia.
Oh, okay.
And the Marine Corps has just one location for that. However, you can attend a military academy such as the Naval Academy, in which you are not required to attend Officer Candidate School. Your foundational officer training is at those institutions, such as Naval Academy, and then from there you graduate and you move to the formal training piece, which would be the basic school. That's where the learning really begins, and it's 6 months, and it's all in Quantico, Virginia.
Okay, excellent. Moving on, Detective Smith, where did you go through basic training at? What unit did you go to? And tell us about your current job here at the Phoenix Police Department, if you don't mind.
I joined the Marines in 2011. I went to Parris Island.
And Parris Island is in East Coast, right?
Yes.
In South Carolina?
That's where all the females,
okay.
would go whenever I joined. I don't know. I think it's...
They mixed it now, yeah.
Yes. They mixed it now. Back then, it was only females would go to the East Coast and then males stay on this side.
Okay.
From there, I became a military police, military corrections Marine, and then got stationed in Norfolk, Virginia for a couple years, and then went to Okinawa, Japan for the last 3. I stayed there, met my husband, who is also a police officer and joined the department with me as well.
Was he a Marine as well,
yes.
stationed in Okinawa with you?
Oh, that's cool. We met in Okinawa, Japan. Moved back to Arizona, where we decided to join the police department.
And where are you at right now with the police department?
I started out in Central City Precinct. I was there for a few years, and then I went to the transit units and been here for about a year.
Excellent. Kind of going off the Okinawa, I know you just got back from Okinawa yourself. Sergeant Tran's over here on my right side. Can you tell us about your beginning career into the Marines and how it, I think you're a first sergeant now, right?
I am.
So how did it go from young Tran joining the Marine Corps all the way to where you are now?
Well, it's funny because we talked about this off camera about like how small the world is and coincidences So listening to Colonel Armenta speak about his career, actually same exact thing. I joined in '99, was in college, decided instead of going the officer candidate route, I'm going to go the enlisted route. So joined, did my tours in Iraq, and just like him, came back from Iraq and then joined the police department. And then, like him, stayed in reserves, and we actually worked together over at Mar4 PAC eventually because the Marine Corps is so small, just back and forth from active duty back to working here for the police department for the past 20-something years.
So that kind of goes on another point. I know you just retired, Armenta, right? Not too long ago?
About 2 years ago.
How would you say new officers coming in the department, or even soldiers, Marines, sailors, airmen that are leaving the military, coming into the police department, what would be your advice on that transition coming into the police department?
I think it's an excellent transition, and the Phoenix Police Department really does a lot to support not only veterans that have put the service behind them, but for myself and Sergeant Tran, we didn't really want to divorce ourselves from our military service entirely. We had reasons for leaving, and we still wanted to serve, so we chose to serve in a reserve capacity rather than in full time, whether that's because you wanted to go to school or family reasons. What the Phoenix Police Department really embraces those Marines who continue to serve in a reserve capacity. We allow time off, paid leave for your 2-week drills, and additional time for your monthly weekend drills. So you can serve your country, serve the Phoenix Police Department, and do it simultaneously. And I think that it's an excellent organization that does support its police officers and service members. So I highly recommend it. It's the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Excellent. And a little introduction about myself. I joined in '04 straight out of high school here in Phoenix, Arizona. I joined the Army, went to Korea as my first duty station, enjoyed Korea. Went to airborne school, joined the 82nd, deployed to Iraq, I think about the same time frame that you guys did, '05, '06. And then I got out, joined the police department, stayed with the Army National Guard, where I deployed in 2012 to Afghanistan. I'm here supporting my 82nd Airborne.
Oh, fancy.
A little different with me, though, is I did the 10 years with the Army, and then I switched over to the Navy. So I feel like I'm within the Marine Corps aspect because the Navy is the mothership of the Marines, right? So I'm kind of in the same cool club as you guys. So I just wanted to put that out there. I do have a couple surprises in my little goodie bag that I wanted you guys to introduce. I'm pulling out right now what I took as a souvenir. They're green shorts. Smith, do these look familiar?
Yes, some skivvy shorts.
So these are the Marine style PT shorts, right?
That's right.
How long do you think those are?
Silkies.
The silkies, yeah. This is almost like a bathing suit, but most of the Marine men would wear this. The silkies are meant for NCOs, I believe. Is that correct, or is that for anybody?
Anybody can wear them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the standard physical fitness attire. The uniform was our green shirt and your green running shorts and your socks and your Go Fasters or your tennis shoes, right?
Yep.
And honestly, they're the most comfortable pair of shorts I think I've ever worn. And if you're not going to keep those, I might take them.
They've been in the.
I know. I have my own. I have my own. Trust me. But that was the standard physical fitness uniform, and it was designed probably to mirror 60s, 70s running clothes, and it just stuck. We have moved on since from that.
Oh, you don't wear these anymore.
And
no, they're not authorized anymore.
Right, those are outside of regulations.
Too short, huh?
More modest physical fitness clothing, and that's a more appropriate. And we even have adopted the running suits, right?
For tracksuits.
The tracksuits.
The tracksuits.
So I encourage everybody, all the viewers out there, if you want to see all the different memorabilia that we have on the table, please watch our YouTube video. I know that we're broadcasting over the radio itself, but everything's being recorded video and audio-wise so that we can share all the stuff that we have here with all of our viewers. So please visit our YouTube channel at Phoenix Police. I got another little piece of equipment here if you want to take a look at that. Could anybody tell me what that item is? It's a metallic thing, a metallic item with a chain on it. Does that look familiar to
It's a
anybody?
spacing tool.
Yeah, that's
So-
for your headspace and timing
There
on
we
the
go. For what weapon
on
system?
the 50 cal
There we
machine
go.
gun.
So I like using this because there's a lot of younger soldiers and stuff that they look at this and like, why is this so important? I'm guessing that you guys have used it a lot. Smith, have you ever used that?
Oh,
the
no,
50
I
cal? No? All right. So that's the headspace and timing. Excellent. Again, please, viewers, go on to our YouTube channel. You'll be able to see all the cool stuff that we have on the table. The next thing I want to share with the table itself is I'm still in the reserve, so I just got back from my reserve unit. I had one of these with me. Smith, what is that?
Oh, I thought you were asking me to read it.
Oh yeah. Well, what flavor
I'm
is
gonna say
that?
pork sausage patty.
So this question for you specifically, when it comes to MREs, meals ready to eat, and this brown bag, have you had a lot of these?
Yes.
What's your favorite one?
I gotta say I think it's like a barbecue pork rib, and then it came with like a piece of bread, so you'd make a little sandwich.
Yeah. Okay.
And then with the hot sauce, Tabasco sauce.
Well,
yes.
you have to have hot sauce on
Yes.
everything, right? It's a must be. Now, last question for you on that is, to me, I explained to people who's never had one of these before that it's kind of like that mystery box. It tells you that there's a pork sausage in there, but you don't know what other good stuff are in there. What was your favorite add-on that came into the MRE that you just loved? Or absolutely
I think
hated?
my favorite one was the chocolate covered granola bar. I think I could live off those. It was the only thing that actually tasted like food. So then that's the only thing that I ate out of all of them. You know?
Yeah, I think it's a hard tie between the pound cake and the jalapeno nacho cheese. And if you had either of those two, you could trade that for just about anything in the field.
It's Smith, what was your favorite?
I think it was like a yellow poppy seed like cake. I don't know if you guys
Okay,
ever
yeah.
had that one.
Yeah,
that
the
one was
pound
pretty
cake,
good.
yeah.
And then you mix it with the chocolate shake one and make like your own pound cake
Oh.
of some sort. That's awesome. So with it being Veterans Day, this is a special time for us to thank other veterans, especially those younger ones, right, that are just coming into it that might feel out of the loop. Is there any advice or anything quickly that you would want to tell a young you coming into this process?
Yeah, I think that there's a home for everybody here in the police department, regardless of which branch that you served in. This isn't a home for Marines or soldiers or sailors or just airmen. It's a home for everyone. And if you've ever served in combat, you understand that the camaraderie and the camaraderie really does carry over when life gets real for you there. We like to rib each other and give us a hard time about various service branches and who we think is better. But when you're deployed in these forward areas, you really do depend on each other because sometimes your life depends on it. And this is the kind of culture that you can find in the Phoenix Police Department.
Absolutely. It's a family. That's really what it is. It's a family in the military side. It's a family in the police side. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming here. A reminder that everybody out there can be part of this fight, fighting crime in your community, potentially solving crimes itself. This is all hosted by Silent Witness, so if you have a tip out there, if you have any information that can help solve some of these crimes, we implore you, call into Silent Witness, 480-WITNESS, go onto their website, provide those essential tips that help keep our community safe. Also remember to watch us on all of our social media platforms, watch these videos on YouTube. Remember, we are hiring. Go to joinphxpd.com. There's a lot of space, a lot of growth here for you. And remember, like always, we're all in this together. Join us this week for a special Veterans Day podcast with this Phoenix 5 show. We're going to be gathered with veterans that are both serving actively in the military as well as actively in our community, sharing their stories, sharing the memorabilia, sharing the fun times, the bad times, and everything in between. So catch us here on Phoenix 5 Show.